Funny thing is, I fought all those battles for all those years. And now I know what for. This. I've never been so happy in my life.
Hello everyone, welcome to The Geekdom, the place where we outcasts come to talk about the things we love, and today we're talking Doctor Who. Before we get into the video today, I just want to say, please subscribe, it would be just so helpful. We're so close to 500 and it would be so amazing if we could hit that soon. Please just hit that little red button if you enjoy the video. Thanks. Okay, if you watched my last Doctor Who video a couple weeks ago, you'll remember that I showed you a little sneak peek of a brand new Tardis set, and that is what we're looking at today. This set comes with 2 minifigures and is absolutely huge. So we're going to jump straight in with the minifigures. Now, this comes with the 14th and 15th Doctor. Now, the 14th Doctor you will have seen in my previous Doctor Who video, but if you haven't watched that, feel free to go and watch it. I go into a ton of detail about that guy there, so you can go and check that out there. But the 15th is brand new for this set. Looks awesome. Love him. He's been so good in the show. His 2 appearances we've had so far from Ncuti Gatwa have been nothing but brilliant. I cannot wait for him to return in May. This figure has printing all over. We're going to start from the hair and work our way down to the feet. His hair is just the Finn hair, which is such a shame. I'll tell you for why. I wanted to give him the Sam Wilson Captain America hair. I was dying to give him that hair, but the software I used just wouldn't allow it. And no matter how much modelling I did, I couldn't make it look as good as the Lego one does. So one day I might remake this figure and I'll just add him that hair. That's all I need to add. His face is Winston Zedmore's, but without the wrinkles, because they have the same facial hair, and it looks perfect. His torso is just that big brown trench coat going all the way down to his legs as well. It's got some buttons, some piping, just the little bits of detail. His chest is that multicolored t-shirt, which looks so cool. Love that in the show. And he also has his sort of like necklaces, whatever they are, there as well in gold. His legs are just blue, with the trench coat detailing on them, because that's what he wears. He just wears some blue pants, and that's about it for this figure. No arm detailing, sadly, but once again, as I said last time, there's not a great deal for me to do. Ncuti Gatwa also comes with his own custom Lego sonic screwdriver. Now, if you remember my last video, you'll know I 3D modelled this absolutely gorgeous piece of technology, but sadly for this one, I couldn't make it work. I tried to do some 3D modelling, but it just looked, well, more goofy than it already does. So here we have the Sonic Sky Remote printed on a 1x2 flat curved tile. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it looks great in my opinion, and it kind of gives the vibe of what Lego would do as well. Now we're going to move on to what you are all here for, the giant TARDIS. I wanted to move away from just the console, right? We had that in the first set, we had it in my David Tennant. We don't need just the console, we want the whole room. So that's what I've done this time. As you can see, it's got walls going all the way around it. This thing is a monstrosity. The walls are actually pretty interesting, because the original plan was to not have this gaping hole here so that you can access it, but so that all the walls can fold down so that you can access whatever point you want, and it still does that. Now, I just added this hole just for kind of your basic ease of access, right? If you were going to display this on your shelf, you just wouldn't want a big sort of circular white mess. No, you'd want to be able to see the interior of the TARDIS, so that's what I've done here. The rest of the walls are simply if you want to access the TARDIS at any point. If you want some, let's say we're taking pictures or something, you could fold down the walls, go with your different angles. That's the plan, and that's what's happened here, and it looks great. As you can see, in the TARDIS, it's covered in lights, so I had to figure out a way to do that. Originally, what I did was a 2x2 flat tile with a single stud on the top, plus a flat 1x1 stud, a translucent one, but it just wasn't giving much TARDIS. I don't know, it didn't have the sort of circular special vibe that the TARDIS has. So what I did was I changed that out for a 2x2 circular flat tile with a hole in the middle with an inverted translucent stud. Because that gave it sort of like the roundels that the TARDIS has all over its walls, and I think that looks really great. Now, the TARDIS in the show, as you will know, the lights change colour. The main 3 colours being white, blue and orange. Those are the main ones we've seen so far. I'm sure Ncuti will have far more. I mean, in the trailer we saw some purple, we saw all sorts, right? But these are the 3 main colours, so those are the studs that I've included. You have hundreds of studs here in 3 different colours, blue, white and orange, and throughout the video with the images I'll throw up on screen, you'll see all of them. That basically covers the entirety of the walls because they're all very similar, besides the fact that they have a bunch of doors and ramps. Now, the kind of ramps going around the walls, like the flat ones that you can walk across, were quite interesting because they're attached using embedded bar and clip pieces, and they have turned out so fantastically. They're actually individual modules, but they have angled plates that come together to create that sort of curved look, which looks so cool. As you'll know on the new TARDIS, there's all sorts of these gravity-defying ramps going from the walls all the way up to the doors and down to the bottom level and stuff. So to create those, I just used a bunch of bar and clips. I'm such a fan of bar and clips at the minute. I don't know what it is with me. I wanted to make it curved, and that is the one gripe I have with this set. I could not find a way to make them curved, so they're a bit more angular than I would have liked. But they do the job. They do a ramp from the side of the walls all the way up and down to the bottom levels of the set and attach to different doors. Now the doors themselves, well, they're not printed. I know, I've failed you all, but I think it looks great without. I did a few different versions of these doors with a bunch of printing. I even reused some stuff from Star Wars at points. It just wasn't working. And then I tried just the plain door and it looked great. And I'm super pleased with it. And this is basically just a cockpit piece, but in a light grey. Very simple stuff. But we haven't seen the doors in action yet. We haven't seen people go behind them. We don't know what's going on in this new TARDIS. So for now, it's just a cockpit on a wall, but it does the job. It looks great. Now, continuing the sort of bridge trend, we've got bridges going to the central column. Now, this set, as you can tell, is a circle. Now, I'm not sure if you've ever tried to build a circle out of Lego, but it is goddamn hard. Okay, the figuring that out was the main. It took me like a week and a half just to figure out how to make this thing a circle. Eventually, I decided on using angular plates. Now, by that I mean like the ones that are flat on one side, angular on the other, a sort of right-angled triangle shape. And I used those in coordination with some hinge bricks to create this sort of circular shape, which was, I'll be honest with you, a pain in the arse. It was painful. It was extremely painful to try and figure that out. But eventually we solved that issue, and it was topped with some beautiful lights. So many lights. I had to build so many lights, but that's besides the point. It was topped with the beautiful lights, and it was also adorned with these sort of like curved pieces that we saw originally in Lego Aliens, I believe. I think that was their first appearance. It's like these curved bricks, and I printed atop them just some more lights. The main colour we've seen of lights in the show is white, not the orange or the blue. So for any printed lights in this set, I just went for white because it was the most basic, it was the one we've seen the most. Now on top of that sort of like curved section is just a few more curved bricks to create a plinth for the extra circular section for the actual console base. This one turned out way better than the floor, and it was so much easier with the prior knowledge that came from building the floor. It looks so good. When you look at what Lego did for their base, it's kind of like, it's almost like a rounded square, and that looks utter shit to me. So I changed it and I made it circular, and I think that looks really great. It's got all those multicolored sections. Obviously this new TARDIS has just got a ton of like paneling all over the floor, which looks great. So I've done that in all these different colored bricks. One of them is different, however. It has some 1x2 plates with a single stud on the top. It has two of those, so that you can add the jukebox on top. Chuti Gatwa's jukebox. If you want to remove that, if you're doing a David Tennant thing, then it's easily removable, hence the studs on top. But it looks really great. It's built on top of a 2x4 grey tile, which looks cool, and it also uses a pearl and reddish brown window, a hatched window, to create that sort of crosshair effect, which I think looks really cool. This build also uses little bits of trans orange and stuff, as well as this sort of like button, like this computer panel-y section. Made it look a bit TARDIS futuresque, but it also kind of had just like the control panel of like a jazzy jukebox. Okay, now the most important bit of the TARDIS, the thing that helps it traverse time and space, is this console. Now this is the original Lego TARDIS, and this is probably the best thing to come out of the set, the console base. I tried for about a week on building a console, a 6-sided console, and I got nowhere, just nowhere. It was horrendous. I contemplated doing the four-sided one that I did for my Tenant TARDIS. If you haven't seen that video, please go check it out. But I didn't want to do that again. It was the thing I hated most about my Tenant TARDIS. So I've gone six-sided, and I just essentially replicated what they did. But I made the actual console panels my own. I made a bunch of custom prints and slopes, and there's a coffee machine, which I thought was a really cool addition to the new TARDIS. And I built that out of a 2x2 circular plate with a stud on top, and then just a teacup. And it just created the vision perfectly, and I'm super pleased with that, because Donna can now blow up the TARDIS as many times as she wants. We've also got the classic lever. You know, the TARDIS needs a lever. You gotta. I'm very sorry. The column itself was quite an interesting thing, because in the show it puts a great deal of emphasis on this like green spiral in the middle of the TARDIS console. So to create that, I used a trans green lightsaber blade embedded in the middle of these 2x2 circular clear bricks, and it just creates that small green section, and I love that so much. It's probably one of my favorite bits of the set. I just love it so much. On top of the column is just more of those lights, because it just creates that illusion that it just continues into a roof. I did think about doing a roof, but I wanted to have the walls open up, and that was the best way to do it, no roof. If you follow the main bridge all the way to the door, you'll see that the doors do not open. Now my entire life, have crapped all over this set because you can't open the interior doors of the TARDIS. Lego, I hereby offer my most humble apologies. Good God, it's impossible to make those doors. It just is, like, physics won't allow it. Which was really irritating because I wanted to make opening doors. So I've just gone for 2 printed bricks. I'm sorry. It looks great. I mean, it looks like TARDIS doors. I like it. The illusion it gives off is brilliant. I love it. I've got that external police public call box sign on the top, which looks great as well, but it doesn't open. I'll never forgive myself. I'll never forgive myself for not making those doors open. But all around it are printed tiles with lights all over them, and there's more lights, and did I mention that there's a ton of lights on this set? On the floor, there is, going all the way around the circumference of the floor, is these, like panel tile things, because the TARDIS has all of these sort of, like, ramps and grey panels all over it. So it's just a bit for the Doctor to walk around on, really. Yeah, you know, it's just a little walkway. But alas, that is it. That is my brand new TARDIS. Will I ever make any more TARDIS sets? I'm not sure. I do kind of have my eyes set on Matt Smith's first TARDIS. I would love to do that one day, but probably not for a while. I'm a bit TARDISed out, truth be told. But I love this thing. Now Ncuti Gatwa can go on many, many LEGO adventures into the vast universe of Doctor Who, and I'm super, super pleased. Well, anyway, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed. If you have, feel free to like and subscribe down below. We're this close to 500 subscribers, which would be just a fantastic milestone to get to, and it would really help me out if you could just click that little red button down there. And while you're down there, you might as well leave a comment telling me what your favourite part of the set was, and if you want me to do any more sets in future, let me know. I love reading your comments, and I'd love to see your input on the channel. Well, anyway, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Allons-y.